What's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and we are beginning the final leg, no pun intended, of the Fans Toys Marauder, aka Menasor. And now we need to talk about the trailer, because the trailer has a functionality outside of the combined mode, outside of the trailer mode. It does have a base mode, so we're going to show off how to do that. And that will involve all of these bits and pieces that you see before you. So let's get down to transformation, shall we? Let's! So first we're going to start with these bits here. So we'll start off with the drag strip side. So we're going to take this section, we're going to rotate that 180. Then you want to take this section, bring it up an angle, and then rotate it in. And this will drop into this little notch right here. Just drop that in like so. Bring that up. Tab slot connection right there. And you got that ready to go. And now for the dead end side, you just want to take this section here. You want to pop this off. You want to take these tabs, flip these in. Then you want to take this section here. You want to just bring it up slightly to unhook it. Take this and swing it to the side, and then bring that up like that. And now you're going to take these two sections and bring them together. Tab slot connections right there. So you just tab that in like so. Then you bring this bit in, just slow this down a little bit, and this will tab in right there, like that. Bring that up, and there you have that section all done. So now for this lower body section here, you're going to take these flaps and bring these out, then just take the legs and split them out. Once you've done that, just take the legs and rotate them up so the toes are facing up. Rotate that so the toes are facing up. Now the knee joints do have a couple configurations. You do want to make sure that the knees are in this configuration for the base mode, where all this is lined up, and you're just going to take the knee and just bring it down. It's a very musical click. Bring it down. So you got it sitting like that. And now for the feet, you want to take the heels and just flip these in. These are very tight. Flip that in like so, and on each foot does have a locking point. So on this side you do have this little lever right here that you need to flip up, so you can open up this latch here. That will allow you to bring this foot down. You can take that and flip that all the way in and close up this little latch again. Then you just rotate the foot up, and on this side you have this section that slides up, so that allows you to bring that down. Just bring that back down and rotate this up so it is sitting like that. And that is that section ready to go. So now for this section, we got a lot more work to do. So first thing we'll do is we'll take these sections here, these shoulder connectors, and just rotate them up to 90 degrees. Rotate that up to 90 degrees just to get that out of the way. You want to bring up this section here because it releases this bit. You can now flip in, and then you just want to take this section here, bring that out, and fold that in. You just gotta bring that down, get that out of the way. You're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now for this section here, the shoulder connector, you want to take this bit here and untab it. You're just gonna take this and just swing this around to the other side. You're gonna take these sections and open them up so you can bring this out. And then you can close this up, and we'll just leave that like that for now. So now we're going to take these little chest panels here. We're going to undo those, bring them forward. Then we can take all this, these side sections here, and just bring them out. All this will just kind of drop down. And what you want to do now is you want to take these pieces and push them through to the other side. So get those through, push those through like that. You want to come around here, and you want to undo this section. That will allow this to drop down. You can take all this, unfold it, this little clasp right there, bring that up, and you can take this and get that tabbed into place. And again, if that hasn't undone it for you, this is where my tongue stops working. If this hasn't undone itself for you already, just undo that and bring this up, flip out that little connector, bring that up, and get that tabbed into place. And now you're going to take the two halves here and just bring them in, and everything will just meet in the middle, and just make sure you get everything nice and squared up. And there'll be tab slot connections on either side right here, as well as little connectors that you can bring down right now, just to hold all of that into place. So you got it looking like that. So at this point, you want to flip all this over. We can bring these down. There's also these little bits here you want to flip out. So flip that out. And now we're going to bring this section in. So there are 2 slots right here. That will go onto these 2 tabs right here. So you just take it and just drop it down, line it up, and get that pushed into place like that. And then you're going to bring this section up, and this will just tab itself in. Undo all this first, and bring that up, and that will tab in right there to secure all that in place. And then you're going to open this up and open that up. Now once the second verse has been firsted, you just bring these 2 halves together and they will tab into each other right there. Just plug that in, and then you bring these sections up and they'll just tab in right there, tab in right there, and we got that done. Alright, so now we're looking at it like this. You do want to undo these clips here because you do need to be able to angle this out because we have these panels here. We're going to just swing out on either side, and then we can bring those in and get those tabbed into place, and then we can get these bits clipped back in. Now as far as Menosaur's head goes, we want to open up the top of his head, and that will just give us a better vantage point because we want to take his horns here. And we just want to open them up like that, and that will allow us to kind of take them and point them up, and you can then close that back up, and then you're going to take this whole thing and just rock this forward. So he is motorboating his own trailer. So now let's work on this section here. So you're going to untab all of this. You're going to bring this out. This section right here is basically going to stay exactly how it is. You're going to take these sections here, you're going to rotate them up. You want to get this out of the way because there is a little connector piece that you want to bring out, and that will just step to the side. You can just bring that back down, do the same thing on the other side. So now we want to take these panels here, let's open all of this up, open all of this up. This section here will just swing in and sit right there. Just make sure all this is connecting. Bring it over. This little panel will stay down like that. And that's how you want that looking. Get that oriented in the same way. And once all of that has been situated, this is how all of this looks, and that is ready to go. So what we're doing with this section right here is we're going to take these panels and we're going to bring them down, and these sections will just swing out and just kind of angle them down. Swing that out and angle that down. So it's in that configuration, and that is ready to go. So now what's going to happen is this section here is going to tab into this slot right here. So just bring that down and just get that tabbed into place. Bring those down. So that is sitting there just like that. So now we're going to bring in the leg section here. And what's going to happen is we're going to slide this forward, and we have these big tabs right here. We're going to go into these notches right here. So you just line that up and just get those in place. So that is sitting like that. So now we got to do some work on Motormaster. So we're going to swing around to the back side here. We need to open this up just so we can open up that section. Then we can close that back up. You're going to come under here to these back wheels. You're going to untab them and bring them forward and just collapse them in like that. And then you're going to take the rear bumper here and just swing that down. Swing that down. Be mindful of the tab there. And then this section here, just fold in these panels and you just kind of bring that back. Actually, you want to leave these open. My mistake, sorry. Bring that back and just leave that, right up against those wheels so everything is sitting like that. And once you've done that, you're going to take these panels here and just undo them and just swing that to the back. Do that on the other side. Then you want to take these sections here and just bring them up and over. And now you're going to take his legs and just straighten them back out. All the way, like that. And once that's done, you're going to take a little front section here, just split everything down the middle, swing those legs out. And now just this section alone, the thigh, you're going to rotate 90 degrees, like that. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now we're going to bring in Motormaster, and he is just going to drop in right here. And if you see right here, there's little notches that these bits are going to sit in. It doesn't lock into place, it's just kind of a spot for everything to just kind of rest. Just get that sitting there as best you can. Your BFS, the big frickin' sword, just goes over this tab right here for storage. Hooray for storage. So that just pops in right there. The BFG just sits right in here. It doesn't actually tab in. It basically just sits up top like that. And there you have the base mode. And yeah, that sure is a thing. I made it. It works. Kinda. I get that they wanted to replicate the base mode that the G1 toy had, so, you know, I mean, they made the attempt. Again, it's not horrible, it's not great either, but, you know, hey, it's an option, and options are good. The instructions don't tell you what to do with the combined mode hands, so as far as these go, I have no idea what to do with them. Maybe there is something you can do with them, I'm not sure. Now, if you want to know how much space this is going to take up on your shelf, from end to end, we're looking at about 29 inches long, and width-wise, we're taking a look at about 21 inches wide. So that is basically it for the base mode, so let's get all this packed up into a trailer, shall we? Let's. Alright, so we're starting back up with this section here. So we want to take the combined mode head, we want to bring it down, rotate it, and now we want it to face plant the other way. And once we've done that, we can take this panel here, start unfolding this, and bring this up, just straighten all of that out. This right here, we're going to bring up. This will fold out, this will come up, all of this will unfold. It's on a little slider, just slide it back, and just get it sitting behind all this, and just connect all that together. So you got it looking like that, and you gotta do the same thing on the other side. And once the second verse has been firsted, we can work on all this. There's a double hinge right here. You want to straighten all this out, like that. You want to bring this up. You want to flip this up, bring these panels around, bring that around, and straighten all this out. These bits will just flip in right here. You have these little sections that'll come up on either side here, and then that will all just rotate up and connect on either side, right there, and right there. And you got that done. So now what you're going to do with this section is you're just going to take these bits and you're going to swing them in. This will open up like that. Then bring this around, open this up, and all of that will just sit like that. And that's ready to go. And now this will just snap onto this back plate here. You got two tabs, these two little slots right here, and these notches are for these four sections right here. So you just line that up and just get that tabbed in. If you can find where the slots are. There we go. Get all that lined up, push that in, and there you have that done. And there you have that section of the trailer all done. So now for the legular region, we can bring the feet back around, just swing them around, kind of get them back into the default position here, and then just straighten the legs out. Again, they're musical. And then you want to take the thighs and the legs, all the legs, and just rotate that 180. So now those thighs are pointing down. At this point, you want to take the hip and you want to slide this section of it up. So it's sitting like that, and then you want to come under here and you want to raise the crotch panels out of the way just for now. So you have this panel here, it's going to come up and just shift to the side. That will come up and shift to the side, and this panel here will just collapse down and sit flush against the leg like that. So now we're going to start unfolding a lot more panels. So we need to open up this section of the leg and just start flipping things up, rotate that around, and all of this will drop down, and there'll be tab slot connections here. So just tab that into place, and all that will sit like that. You want to bring this little panel up, this little hook, just kind of leave that out like that for now. Now once we have the other side done, we'll bring this down just so you can see what's happening here. So we have to do something specific with this knee joint here. So what needs to be done is we need to undo these little latches here, and they lock this gray piece in place. So we need to undo both sides. And one side always likes to not work with me. Come on. Come on! Come on, man! Tool. So, there we go. Get that popped out. So what we want to happen here is we want to bring this down. We want to bring this knee joint down at this hinge all the way down, as far as it'll go. And then this bit we want to straighten out like that. And that will allow us to take all of this and now collapse it in and down so it's all sitting like that. And then you can take these little latches and you can push them back in to get them seated and get all that locked in place. So that's how you want that looking. Now on the other side, you're doing pretty much the same thing, but on this side you have these back wheels to deal with. So once you get all this unfolded, just take the wheels and just swing them out. You can bring that down as a place to sit. We'll talk more about these in a little bit because I did learn new information, but you just want to bring all this up and bring that down, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And once we have all that unfolded, we're going to do the same thing we did with the other knee joint to this knee joint. Now this is where the combined mode hands come into play. So basically you want them in this orientation. So you just want to take the thumb and just rotate it back like that. You want to make sure this big tab is facing outward. And what you're going to do here is the thumb is going to go through this opening right here. So you just drop those hands in and the thumbs will go through. And that will just sit there like that. Those will get secured up more solidly in a bit. So now what we're going to do with the foot is we're going to just bring it up. We're going to open the foot up. There's this little section here that we collapse in, and that allows the foot to just flatten out a lot more. And then we just take the foot and rotate it around, and that'll just sit atop like that. And second verse just like the first. And there you have that section ready to go. Now bear in mind on this side there is a little tab slot connection that happens right in there, so make sure that that is engaged. But yeah, that section is ready to go. Alright, so now it's time to drop all of this on top of this section here. Now I do recommend you undo these panels and just kind of bring them up so you can see what you're doing. It also helps if you untab this back section here, bring all this up again just so you can see what you're doing. And again, undo these. Again, just gives you a little bit more flexibility. You can see what you're doing here. So what's going to happen is you want to basically get the head in place first. So the head is going to drop right in here. So take that and drop it down, and it will just kind of like snap itself into place. There you go. When you feel it snap in, now you can kind of get all of this drop down and all of this situated. And there is the trailer all put together. Now, I was not going to show you me plugging every panel into place because we'd be here all day. You'll be able to see what panel goes into what hooks into what. You'll get through it just fine. It's a lot of fiddle factor, unfortunately. It's a lot of fiddling to kind of get all this lined up and get everything tabbed in the way it needs to be tabbed in, but it is doable. Now, if you remember in the Bandit review, when I took a look at the trailer, I complained about these back wheels and how they were only held in by this one little tab, and that was nowhere near enough, and that was not stable, and they splayed out, and I did not like it one bit, and I genuinely wondered what Fans Toys was thinking when they made that decision. Well, it turns out they did think about it, they just did not think about it enough to actually tell us about it! But thanks to some helpful viewers, I did find out that the wheels actually can lock into place. So what needs to happen is you open up this panel here, and this section right here will actually lift up like that, and then you have a tab slot connection that happens right there. Tab that wheel in, you can take this and just kind of seat this in between these two sections here, and now those wheels are locked in place, and now those wheels are stable, they're solid, they can roll just fine, and that makes me a lot happier. And to connect this to Motormaster, you just extend this bit here. You have these two tabs, which are going to flip out, and they will just go into two slots right here in Motormaster's bumper. So you just line that up and get that snapped in. And now Motormaster can go big truckin', so there you go! So that is it for the trailer, and yeah, you know, it's a lot to do, but you know, you get decent results. The base mode is nothing fantastic, but hey, at least, you know, they were trying to emulate what the G1 toy did, and, you know, just giving the trailer something else to do outside of the combined mode. Getting that trailer together, though, does have a high level of fiddle factor. It can be kind of frustrating and can be not a whole lot of fun. Just a veritable smorgasbord of panels that you have to line up and get together, and yeah, it can get tedious. But that is all that can be done with the trailer. And coming up, we'll have a JTI video on how to get all of these individual bots into their combined modes, and then we will take a look at the completed Marauder, so stay tuned for that. So, there you go! You can check out the Marauder playlist for any reviews you may have missed, linked in the description down below, so you can check that out. And I think that's it, so don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Love, Peace, Paranormal, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below, and I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So, there is the trailer for Fans Toys Marauder, and this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, palm in your face.